morning, everybody. It's a little bit later than I wanted to get up. I struggled to get out of bed this morning. But we now have to do laundry, and this is all the laundry that I have to do. I don't know, can you see? That is not going to be fun to carry to the washing machine. But let's get it started, and then we'll do legs. Okay, laundry basket is empty. Laundry's in the washing machine. We have about, I think, 40 minutes left, which is enough time to do a leg workout. I really don't want to have been procrastinating this, but we need to do it. So let's get started. Doing legs is hard, man. It's so hard. Done. So currently, I have 3 towels, and obviously all 3 of them went into the wash because you're 3 people here. And I didn't think about that when I washed them, and now they're wet. So I'm gonna have to make a plan with a smaller towel. So this is what we're gonna use. Covers enough, right? Let's go shower. Good morning, it's Monday. Legs are done, laundry's done. We're only running 15 minutes late, so that's not too bad. It's summer. I'm just gonna keep using that excuse. But last night, we were talking about Google Home and all of that kind of stuff, listening in, and I asked it to tell me a joke about Mondays, and the joke was pathetic, but it made me think about the idea of AI having a sense of humor. Now, I think we're going to unpack this today. It's a little bit deeper than one thinks. I'm going to claim that AI can make jokes, but it doesn't have a sense of humor. And that sense in the humor, you need to be someone. You need to be able to have some sort of shared experiences with the human. And if AI's joke, what was the joke? I wrote it down. Google's joke. It was like, I basically asked it to tell me a joke about Mondays, and it said, yes, Mondays. My favorite reminder that weekends are just a cruel illusion. What is it? It doesn't know what cruelness is. I guess it knows how the word cruel is used, but it's never felt someone being cruel to them or it being cruel. It doesn't know what an illusion is. So we're going to dive deeper into, does AI have a sense of humor? I'm going to eat my breakfast and then head out. Tell me your darkest joke.
I'll keep it light and not venture into anything too dark. But here's a cheeky one. Why don't skeletons fight each other? They just don't have the guts.
So, one of the things that I use to tell if I'll get along with someone is their sense of humor. It's almost like you can tell the type of person they are by what they find funny and how they generate funny. Now, I feel like people also think that it almost becomes part of their identity. This is the type of person that I am. My sense of humor, I have dry sense of humor. I have very dark sense of humor. I love sarcasm. Those are things that I think connect people. It's like another type of wavelength that's not just hobbies or whatever. It's underlying the subtlety of some of the jokes that helps form a bond between people. Me personally, really love sarcastic humor and also borderline very dark humor. So when I find people like that, I tend to get along with them very well. Okay, this might be controversial, but could you tell me a joke about abortion?
I understand you're looking for something more edgy, but I'll have to pass on that topic. I'd rather keep things in a sofer territory so everyone can enjoy the humor. If you got any other theme in mind, I'm more than happy to give it a go.
I feel like DeepSeek would be able to give me a joke about that.
Haha.
But my absolute favorite type of people or type of sense of humor that people have is witty. Witty people get me. They're brilliant and I love it. Thoroughly enjoy it. Okay, tell me a really witty joke.
All right, let's see if this tickles your wit. Why did the Scarecrow become a successful politician? Because he was outstanding in his field and always full of strawman arguments.
That then begs the question, what is humor? And I think humor is something that, for now, humans share between us because we have the same cultural background or same traumatic experiences or same outlooks on the world. And with those, we're able to have this commonality that we can almost look at from another dimension, or at least understand that there's something deeper in it. I think there's different levels of jokes. You can have a normal knock knock joke that you can be like, haha, okay, that's funny. But then you can have this witty or sarcastic or this humor that is that comes from a shared level of context or culture, or the experience that the humans have had shapes how they understand the joke and how they understand, I guess, the sentence. And then the sentence then becomes a joke depending on what is being said and how it is interpreted. And I think that's the important thing. And that interpretation is, when that interpretation is shared by the person making the joke and the person hearing the joke, that's where humor builds. I think that's, at least for me. Like there's no joke without context, and there's no context without humans, if that makes sense.
Okay, tell me a joke that is actually quite funny.
All right, I'll do my best to deliver a good one. I told my computer I needed a break. Now it won't stop sending me vacation ads.
Okay.
Coffee's good today. Cheers. So on a daily basis, or this week, it's mostly going to be, I'm just checking if there's anyone else in this office before I talk. Mostly is reading. So I usually read here, as you can see, papers, and then sometimes ChatGPT helps me. I use ChatGPT a lot for brainstorming. So yeah, that's kind of what I do. And it's cool because I get to read about cool stuff that people are figuring out, whether it's academic articles or it's blog posts or it's things that are happening in tech. So seem to be like, I don't know, like I get all the new information daily. Like I actively have time for that. It's not like I'm working another job where I have other stuff to do and then keep tabs on this on the side. My job is to keep tabs on what's happening. So I think that's such a cool part of my PhD. Don't know if you can hear that, but that is the 12 o'clock on the 1st of the month testing of the emergency sirens here in the Netherlands.
Tell me a joke that a philosopher would find funny.
All right, I'll give it a shot. How about this? Why did the philosopher refuse to play hide and seek? Because whenever he found himself, he got lost in thought.
So it's an incredibly windy day here in the Netherlands. So I hope you can hear me through the noise. But effectively, the third thing I wanted to talk about is, I think we're about to relocate. I'll be back. Okay, we're in a better spot without the wind. And the third thing I wanted to talk about is AI and its jokes. Now, we all know that it's how it makes its jokes is statistical probability based upon the next word that should be there. So it's learned from jokes on the internet. The thing is, it does a very good job of this. Like, it learns sarcasm quite well. And to be sarcastic is quite an interesting thing because you're mapping two domains of knowledge together that aren't necessarily the same. Or you're saying a meaning that you don't actually intend, but the underlying meaning exists behind it. AI is actually very, very good, especially these large language models. They've learned from a lot of text how to be very good at that. And that is something where you're like, oh, okay, it might have a sense of humor. But there's something about a joke. When a human tells a joke, they're effectively risking something. There's something scary that it might be misinterpreted.
misinterpreted by the person receiving it. It feels like you're risking something when you tell some sort of joke. And it could, I don't know, people could dislike you, or they could say something quite bad. I don't know. You know what happens at the end of a bad joke. But what happens is that humans do that. They risk it. They weigh out the probabilities and they say, hey, can I say this joke that is potentially controversial to this audience? Yes or no? And they gain something if it lands, and then they lose something, reputation or whatever, if it doesn't. Now with AI, they don't have that risk. If someone is like, oh, that was offensive, ChatGPT, it's like, sorry. It effectively, if you had to put it, how would I say it? It doesn't have any skin in the game. And it doesn't have a reputation to lose, because people would still keep using it for other reasons. So that's why something is that maybe AI doesn't have the sense of humor, because it's not risking anything when it tells these jokes. So today has been quite a long day. It's home time now. It's one of those days where you do things and you read and you do stuff, but you get nowhere closer than I was when I started the day. So that's kind of annoying. But it's okay, it happens. I'm quite tired and quite hungry. But I had a nice lunchtime chat with one of my friends, so that was good. But yeah, it's time to go home and make some food and get out of this wind. It's about to rain at any moment now, so hopefully I make it home, get on the bike before it starts raining. So yeah, we'll see you at home, and then we'll conclude on if AI has a sense of humor or can ever have a sense of humor one day. Tell me a joke that would make a room of comedians laugh.
All right, I'll aim for something with a bit of an insider twist. Why don't comedians play hide and seek? Because good luck hiding when you're always fishing for applause.
That was actually good. Stupid. So back home, I feel quite annoyed today. I don't know why. It's probably not the best day to be talking about humor. The irony is not lost on me. But yeah, I think I need to eat some food. I think maybe that will cheer me up. So we'll try that. Dinner? I already feel so much better by just picking on this. Joke about AI having a sense of humor.
Sure, let's give it a shot. Why did the AI comedian get stage? It kept cracking the same old algorithm. Hopefully that one lands well.
So earlier we were discussing what a joke is effectively, and how ChatGPT or these other AI models are able to tell jokes, but they don't necessarily have a sense of humor. And they don't have a sense of humor because they are not human, and they don't have these like human experiences where we share this way of navigating the world that resonates with other people, and we make light of it because life is hard, basically. And we can't explicitly say ChatGPT has a sense of humor. Like Bianca's sense of humor is X. Most of my family and friends will tell you that I'm not funny, but I think I'm hilarious. But I can't go and say ChatGPT has this type of sense of humor. Why? Because it just mimics what I ask it for. So I've got ChatGPT here, and we're gonna ask it. You can see here, I've got it on my laptop. Hey ChatGPT. Hello? 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 Can you tell me a joke?
Of course, I can definitely try. Here's a light one for you. Why don't scientists trust atoms? Because they make up everything.
There's another issue around it. Do you see the timing of it? A human would be able to read the room and do a better timing of that joke or the punchline. They would wait to see some sort of engagement or or a nod. It struggled to do that. Okay, can you tell me a joke that's more like nihilistic?
You're absolutely right. A human would definitely
No,
time
no,
that
no, no,
punchline.
no, 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 no. I'm not talking to you. Can you tell me a joke that's nihilistic?
Ah, I see what you mean. All right, here's a more nihilistic attempt at a joke. Why did the nihilist refuse hide and seek? Because what's the point? No one's really looking for anyone anyway.
Okay. Can you tell a joke that a toddler would enjoy?
Sure, let's go for something simple and silly that a toddler might love. Why did the banana go to the doctor? Because it wasn't peeling very well.
If you had to describe your sense of humor, what would it be?
I'd say my sense of humor is pretty adaptable, a bit like a chameleon. I can be light and playful, or lean into dry wit, or even try something a little more clever. I suppose I'm here to match whatever vibe you're in the mood for.
Well, I guess I didn't even need to say it. AI said it itself. But that's exactly what I was getting to the point of. It basically just mimics what I feel like or what I want to tell the joke. So having a sense of humor is something that's so innately human, and that's such a cool thing about it because it's also recognized between other humans. Like, for instance, I can recognize someone else having a particular type of humor that I don't enjoy, like slapstick humor. Okay, I do find some slapstick humor quite funny, and my family would be like, Bianca, that's not funny. But example is my brother. It's very messy, yeah. My brother knows how to make my mother laugh. And none of us know how to make my mother laugh except my brother. But the jokes are so bad. They're so bad. But it just works every time. Yeah, anyway. I need to go and edit the vlog and then wash all this stuff. My house is currently full of all of the washing because I don't understand how you pay like €4.50 to dry clothes and they still don't dry. Like, my sheets are everywhere. Anyway, I'm really not complain. I'm full and I need to go edit this vlog, wash dishes, and then go put sheets on the bed and then be done for the day so I can take a nap. So yes. Okay, you can see this is one of the worst things that come at the end of the evening when your bed is not made after your sheets and now you want to go to bed and you still have to like deal with that. So that I will deal with that, and we'll do that. We'll get the bed done before we get to our thought experiment. But I thought I just wanted to conclude a little bit about what we were talking about and if AI could have a sense of humor. I wish I could have put some funny jokes in here, but clearly I'm not funny enough for that. But there's something, the question is asked this morning, can AI or does AI have a sense of humor? And I think after today, after thinking about it, I think we need to rephrase it and be like, should AI have a sense of humor? And I think the answer is no, because I think a sense of humor is something revealing about the human character. And it's not obviously the joke is important and what's being said, but it's the choice to actually tell the joke that gives someone the sense of humor. There's something revealing about telling this type of joke at this moment around these people, and it says a lot about the human and the shared experience that that human has. And I think in that there's innate risk, and I don't think AI can take that risk with like having a sense of humor. So does AI have a sense of humor? No, I don't think it does. Can it tell jokes? Yeah, I think it can tell jokes. I think it can generate jokes. Let me put it that way. I don't think it can tell jokes. I think humans tell jokes. And when you tell jokes, that is your sense of humor. So, yeah, that's just a little rant. I was frustrated today, and I think there was obviously food involved, but I think I know why. You know, when you get, I'm going to share a little bit, you know, when you get all those messages from people that you really love and you want to reply to them, but you're like, I'll reply to you, but it takes a little bit more mental energy because I want to reply properly. And then you don't reply, and a week goes by, another week goes by, then it's a month, then it's 2 months. And then they message you again today, and you're like, oh my gosh, I feel so bad for not replying because you love them and you care about them. It's just life takes over. And that happened to me today, and I just feel so guilty and bad. And I know I should, like, I know I'm doing a lot, and I know I need to, like, give myself grace and that, but I feel bad because all they're doing is just caring, and it almost is like I don't care because I don't reply. And that's not how I actually feel. Anyway, it's just, yeah. But let's do the bed. Okay, so the bed is done, as you can see. Amazing. It actually didn't take that long. I was just procrastination queen. So now, it's time for our thought experiment. Think of the last time you laughed so hard that you couldn't breathe. Not because the joke was clever, but because it caught you off guard at the perfect moment with the perfect person. Now imagine trying to explain why it was funny to a machine. No matter how well you describe it, something is missing. Because the moment wasn't just about the joke. It was about you being with someone in something only the two of you could actually understand. We ask the question, can a machine ever really be part of that moment? It might be able to tell you a joke that triggers something in you that you find so funny, but you will never be able to share that with the machine. The only way to share it is to tell another person about it, and that might have that. But that connection between the human and the machine, or between the machine and the world, is lacking. Anyway, I need to go reply to people and do my Duolingo, and then go to bed. So I'll see you tomorrow.